Well, for this week's service, we're using some of the Christian Aid material that's been produced for this week. And we was told or suggested that it should be filmed from the kitchen sink. So that's where I'm at today. I hope it doesn't look too scruffy. And I must say it's rather cold because the window's open and it's a cold Saturday afternoon. Perhaps this is the first year in my lifetime when we could say we have so much more in common than usual with those people who are supported by Christian Aid. So often we hear about others around the world who are vulnerable to disease and where without intervention many will die. We here are experiencing that. We also too regularly hear of people in other countries where poverty is so acute that they don't know where their next meal is coming from. As we've been watching news reports about food banks and a lack of free school meals, meaning that some teachers have taken to delivering food to their pupils, we know that there are some in our communities who feel just the same. And we remember that in some places violence is an everyday occurrence. And we hear on news reports that domestic violence has spiralled in these days of lockdown. These are all reminders to us of what life can be like. Christian Aid is responding to the coronavirus outbreak in Africa, Asia, Latin America and the Caribbean as well. They're working together with partners and faith leaders to inform people about the risks, offering hygiene and hand washing sessions, equipping health facilities with supplies and providing training to frontline aid workers. They're providing food packages to some of the most marginalised families and ensuring protection for women affected by domestic violence. Today I'm going to look most particularly at the Psalm, which you've perhaps just read, Psalm 31, as the John reading, John 14, was studied last week so well by our lovely Streams of Worship leaders. Did you know that at least half the Psalms in the Bible have elements of lament in them? No, neither did I, till I read it in the past couple of weeks. This particular psalm is no exception, is it? It's one that talks about seeking refuge. It pleads with God to listen, and it begs God to put the wicked to shame. This is obviously written by someone in very difficult situation, wanting some comfort, some reassurance that God listens to them, that God is around, that God cares, and that God knows what's happening to them as they're being persecuted. That sounds like the sort of prayer many people in the world today might be praying. Consider those in Aleppo, or Yemen, or in Cox's Bazar in Bangladesh, which it is or was the world's largest refugee settlement. Do you know, I think one of the most urgent human needs must be to have a place of refuge, preferably the sort of permanent one, which has the word home to describe it. Home is a place where we should be able to feel secure and comfortable, and I hope you've been feeling that as you've been in lockdown in your homes for the last few weeks. Home is a place where we can communicate to someone who will listen, or I hope so, even if they're not physically with us, and where we can lay our prayers before a God who will take them and hear them graciously. Surely honesty must be something that describes our prayers. If God knows us intimately anyway, why be less than honest? One of my friends gave me this verse. A friend is one to whom one may pour out all the contents of one's heart, chaff and grain together, knowing that the gentlest of hands will take and sift it, keeping what is worth keeping, and with a breath of kindness blow the rest away. It seems to me that the psalmist had that sort of a relationship with God. In fact, if we read the Bible as a whole, it would suggest that God yearns for that sort of relationship with us. Remember the Garden of Eden in Genesis, right at the beginning of the Bible, how it describes how God walks in the cool of the evening in the garden and meets up with Adam and Eve, just hanging out together. Wouldn't that be great? And I've always been greatly struck by the description of God and Moses together, talking together as one man to another, says the Bible. Wouldn't that be amazing? I suppose it's epitomised by Jesus and his disciples and the friendship that there was between them. Isn't that what we're trying to do by being supporters of Christian Aid? Enabling that organisation to befriend some of the most vulnerable and poverty-stricken people in the world and offer the hand of Christ to them. The hand of friendship, the hand of support, the hand of protection. Thank you for your support for Christian Aid this year. Please pray for them and charities like them. And please pray for your church, that despite our present hiddenness, we might be salt and light in our communities. Thank you. God bless you.